Welcome to this week's meeting of the Rockland Board of Selectmen, coming to you live on WRPS from the H. Bernard Monahan Memorial Room at Rockland Town Hall. On the agenda this week, we've got an update on town meeting, streetlight conversion project, and committee vacancies. Now here's the acting chair of the Board of Selectmen, Deirdre Hall.
Good evening. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. The Veterans Agent Vinnie Fontaine will lead us in it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be advised that this open meeting is being broadcast live and recorded by WRPS for playback on Comcast Channel 14 and Verizon Channel 31. It'll also be available for online video-on-demand viewing at WRPSRockland.com within 24 hours of its conclusion, as are other recently recorded meeting and community events. Please go to WRPSRockland.com for further information. First on the agenda, community announcements. We have Mike Johnson to come up to talk about the Dogs Dash.
Hello.
Mike.
Thanks, everyone. I think you guys already voted on this, but we're having the, I don't know what annual this Dog Dash this is, but it's for the high school hockey team. It's a road race that we're putting together as a booster. The parents are a bunch of the booster for the hockey team. Put together this road race every year. This year we're doing it in June again, June 16th at 9 a.m. We're going to start this year at the Eston School. Last year we started at the Rockland rink and ran into a little bit of a problem with the rink. Had double booked and you had cars coming in and avoiding runners. So we worked it out with the police, the school, that we could do it at the Eston and generally run the same route around pretty much Concord, Wyman Fields, and come down. It's 5K. It's called the Dog Dash. Now, I don't know, for some reason this year I get 1,000 people asking me, well, what if I don't have a dog? Now, I don't understand that, but it's the Rockland High School Bulldogs Dog Dash. You don't need a dog. Dogs are welcome, but you don't need one. And it's a great event. Last year we ended up with 175 runners. So it ended up being a pretty good event. And it's even better for the local businesses because those 175 runners now, if you sponsor this race, your name goes on the shirt, your logo goes on the shirt of the racers. We also promise and fulfilled every year with a book that gets passed out to everybody that comes to a game. We hand this book out, and people who donate for the Dogs Dash get an ad in here. South Shore Eagles, Jeff's Carpets, past Players Sports Bar, Boom Realty. They paid money, so they got an ad in here. So everyone that came to a game, and some of those games are packed, standing room only, people are getting these, and that money goes a long way because the money that's used by the donations, by the people that sign up for the race, is used to help offset the payment of ice time. It's probably the most expensive sport that's run up at the high school, and unfortunately we don't get a larger share of the pool from the school, so the parents have to do this fundraising. Me personally, I hate fundraising. I hate asking people for money. I think it's one of the worst things. But I've even, I have my firm. We pay, we donate. So we're looking for donations. We're looking for people to come out and sign up. This is the flyer. If you go to any business, you're going to see it plastered all over the place. My wife is a wild woman with this stuff. She's been going to every single business, asking them to donate, but also to post this. But again, it's June 16th, 9 a.m. At the Eston School. You can go to racewire.com. That's the company, the third-party vendor that we're using to sponsor the race that does all the timing. And it's racewire.com/register.php (ID =9014).
That's it?
You can also call me.
All right.
They can get my number up here, I'm sure. But you can call me if you want to sponsor, or if you want to run, or if you just want to participate and help out. And you can walk too. You guys welcome to participate.
So we got a month and a half to train.
You do. And it's a great time. Like my wife just sent out an email today and said, what What better way to start the summer, right?
Yeah.
Get in some. You got about a month and a half.
I'll run as long as Larry doesn't videotape us running by his house.
And he has.
All right.
Last year I ran
That was all over
his
social
house,
media.
and there he was videotaping.
There you go.
I'm trying to get him out there to run, but he won't
Yeah.
do
Oh,
it.
I'm like, I can stand.
Mike, you in?
I'm in.
People can walk. We go near your house. We go
Yeah,
right
he'll
by
pull
my
a Rosie
house.
Ruiz right through his house.
Moncrief, yeah. The cheaters
He'll start at his house.
Cheaters did go down 11 last year. I caught a bunch of cheaters, but what can you do?
Leave the flyers.
I'll leave the flyers. Sure.
Thank you.
And this is the booklet. If you want to donate, you get your name in the booklet. Advertise your business. Thanks, guys.
How did the hockey team
Oh,
make out this year?
so the hockey team this year was again another banner year. They were 23-2 overall. They won the South Shore League, which was the second year in a row. They made it pretty deep into the playoffs and just ran into a buzzsaw of Hanover, which, by the way, should not be in Division III. I'll say it again. They should be Division II. We have basically 23 kids that show up that want to play hockey. They play hockey. A town like Hanover has like 74 kids try out. So it's remarkable. We did, the team did only lose to Hanover 2-1 during the regular season, so it was pretty good. But they got pretty killed in the playoffs by Hanover. But they did well. I mean, this year is going to be a little bit of a lean year, I think. We lost a lot of seniors, and it's going to be a young team. But I guess you got to rebuild. And look at, I always say, look at the Vegas Knights. Who thought they would be in, you know, the contenders for the West in the National Hockey League? So who knows? It could be a miracle next year. But I was going to have one of the hockey players, my son, who will be a senior next year, he's a junior now, come up and speak. But I went home to get him, and he had a tutor helping him with the SATs. So I think that's a little bit more important at this point in time. But you know, the hockey team does well, and this is a fun event. It's a fun town event. I know it's Rockland Day that day, and that's in the afternoon. This is in the morning. Come do both. You can, you know, rest your legs over at Rockland Day after you run this race. All right.
Only 3 miles.
Expect to see everyone there.
We'll be there.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
Thanks,
Good to see you, Mike.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Next item on the agenda is the minutes, open session minutes from April 17th and executive minutes from April 17th. We've been advised that they're not completed yet. Just going to pass over these items, move on to agenda item number 4, which is the town meeting update. Mr. Kevin Henderson.
Mr. Moderator?
Good evening. Alan and I talked about who was going to speak on this, and I said, well, you know, maybe they want to see a different face. Maybe that'll get some interest. I don't know. But we have the most important meeting coming up for the citizens of Rockland once a year. It's coming up Monday night, May 7th, at the Rockland High School Auditorium at 7 o'clock. It's going to, hopefully, the quorum will be there. We need 150 people to start at 7 p.m. We have a special town meeting first, and then we have our annual town meeting. We have to get this done. It's the most important meeting because we've got to get ready to go July 1st, the next budget year. If you look at, this is probably the oldest form of government, where you can come to the meeting. If you have something that's on your mind, you can get up and speak about whatever article or a budget line item or whatever it might be. Where if you're in a city, we have a mayor and a city council. Some towns, even close to us, have representative town meeting, and you elect your representatives and you don't get to speak. If you have something that's bothering you or you have questions about some article, whatever it might be, you do not get to go there and speak. So Rockland still has the most original form of government. We've done very well the last few years. I met with the Finance Committee last night. They made their final recommendations. They've got everything ready. The Finance Committee and the Capital Planning Committee, who are all volunteers, have worked very hard the last 4 months, ever since the holidays, along with our town accountant, Eric Hart, town administrator, Alan Chalker, and the department heads. And we've been in there and out of there by 10 o'clock, I think was the latest we've got out of there in the last 3 or 4 years. So if you have nothing to do Monday night, I realize the Red Sox are winning, the Bruins are winning, the Celtics are winning, but if you have a few hours, come down to the town meeting. Even if you see a lot of cars there, it doesn't always mean there's a lot of people. People come one to a car, there can be a lot of vehicles out there. But please, come into the town meeting next Monday night, help us get started at 7 o'clock, and we should be able to go through and take care of business, so the next year, starting July 1st, we're all ready for it. And I know I'll see the selectmen there.
Always.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
So I appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, streetlight conversion project update.
Madam Chairperson, the streetlight conversion we've been waiting for a long time was delayed a little bit by the March weather, but beginning on May 14th, and really this is to educate the public and ask for their cooperation, but beginning on May 14th, there will be 2 crews dedicated solely and only to Rockland, and on a rolling basis starting to replace all of our streetlights and go to the LED streetlights. It should provide better lighting for the town and at a substantial cost savings to the community. Work will proceed 6:30 to 3 o'clock on Monday through Friday. We will be posting the schedule, advertising using WRPS and WATD. We're going to get it out to the newspapers. It will be on our website. There will actually be the ability for people to log on and see the progress being made through the town. They have not scheduled whether they're going to start on the south end or the north end or the east side or the west side yet, but it'll be a rolling installation. We will be asking people not to park under streetlights, so if you get to a telephone pole, don't park next to it if it's got a streetlight for those 6 weeks. If you do, we'll be putting a notice on the window asking you not to do so tomorrow so that they can come back and do a punch list. We're working with them on our busy streets like Union Street, for example. I know that there's a streetlight right over Bagnell. So one day we'll be saying to them, you know, you don't park there between 6:30 and 7:30. We'll make sure it's the first light as we go up Union Street. We'll do one side one day and the other side another day. We're waiting for school to be out as well. There's less traffic in the morning and during the day with school out. But we'll be asking the public to make their neighbors aware, to look for, Dave Taylor has offered us some of those sandwich boards so that we can put notices in certain neighborhoods so people are aware that during the week that we're going to be in their particular neighborhood or during the day that we're going to be in their particular neighborhood, not to park into the streetlights. I don't, and the problem is that sometimes maybe 2 out of 600 drop, but if it hits your car, everybody's going to be inconvenienced. So we're very excited about that, and that should actually represent to the town about a $70,000 savings per year in electrical costs once we actually get the conversion done. Any questions?
I just have one comment. Can you email us, all the 5 of us, and let us know what area you're going to be in so that whether we use Twitter, social media, email, whatever we use, that we can put that out to?
As soon as the schedule is up, we will be, and we'll be sending out department heads. We're really going to try hard to get it out, and I appreciate your help on Facebook. As you know, I'm not on Rockland Facebook, so.
Thank you. All right. Next item, community aggregation, DPU hearing announcement.
This was delayed, but we do have word that finally the DPU, probably since we agreed to do aggregation here in Rockland, which is supposed to save homeowners on average over $100 a year in their electrical costs. I was surprised that actually, and I'm in government, I was surprised how slow the process was. But the DPU hearing is on May 9th. If that goes well, then Real Term will be able to go out and package us with, I believe it's 8 other communities at this point that are part of this package to try and get a better rate for all residents. All residents will be included in this electrical package. Basically, their accounts will no longer be with whomever they're with. However, that each individual has the option to opt out. Nobody is forced to stay for any length of time, but probably since I've been here, this has been the one thing that people have asked about. When am I going to start to save money on my electric bill? So just letting people know we are making progress.
Questions? No? Great. Agenda item 7, committee vacancies.
The board has continually asked me to try and keep them updated, and I thought going into town meeting that this would be a good time for the board to encourage their friends and acquaintances throughout the community, or anybody watching tonight. We do have a number of committees that could use some additional personnel. And a lot of times I have to say people get mad or get angry about something, and that's what inspires them sometimes to decide, well, I'm going to go on that board and fix it. Or if you think things are going well and you could possibly give us a hand, we can use the help. And we have a few areas where we do have openings. The ADA Committee has 3 openings. The Capital Planning Committee has 1 opening. Charter Maintenance Committee has 4 openings. The Conservation Committee has 3 openings. The Council on Aging has 4 openings. The Cultural Council has 2. Historical has 3. The Memorial Committee has 5. The Open Space Committee, I don't think this is right. It's saying 6 openings. That's got to reflect people that are being reappointed as well. There is a Taxation Aid Committee, which helps seniors and people in need. That has openings. The Teen Center Advisory Committee is always looking for people. If you've ever dropped your children off at the Teen Center, or you can help out with some of the programs, they have openings. The Youth Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals at this point, as a result of recent resignations. So we're asking anyone that can give us a little bit of time to, even if they're happy with what's going on in town, to step up and give us a hand and be part of it. I think a vast majority of us think things are going well here, and we could use some more assistance. So,
Any questions?
Could you send that list to us as well?
Yes.
Just so that we can get that out there. to people?
we'll post it as well.
Yeah, and the Finance Committee, I know, we're supposed to have up to 15, and it's not listed there yet, but they're losing 2 or 3 more members, so they'll be down to about 8 or 9. So that's a low point for them. at
Finance
least over the
Committee
last
is a
6 or
great
7
place
years.
to learn how
It's
the
the best
government
place,
runs.
absolutely.
Can you tell people where they can find the form to sign up?
It's right online as well, or here at Town Hall, we have forms, but it is online. If they want to stop up here and discuss the responsibilities of any of the committees, my door is usually open, and if not, I will certainly get back to them.
And Town Administrator's Report and Correspondence.
Just 2 things. We are working closely with the Community Preservation Committee. We've had a couple of meetings. We had our initial Get Acquainted meeting talking about what their role is. We had a representative from the Community Preservation, I'm going to get the name wrong, Commission or League or whatever, but it's the association of almost all the communities that have community preservation committees come down. Stuart Saginaw did an outstanding job. Met in the afternoon with myself and staff and department heads here who will be charged with the implementation and the administration of CPC, and then he met again in the evening for about 2 hours to meet with the committee members to talk about what their role is. They are going to start to meet on the 3rd Thursday of every month. Those meetings are open to the public, and we do have someone coming from a dear friend of mine who did an excellent job with the same committee in Bridgewater, Marilee Hunt, who is now the town clerk, so she can no longer be a member of the committee because you can't be an elected person and be on some of these committees in town. But she did a great job in Bridgewater, and she is going to talk about policies and procedures and planning and strategies and how to get going, what projects you should look at. And I think it'll be a very interesting presentation from a community that's had, I think we've had about 10 years' experience in Bridgewater, and they've done some excellent things from building renovations to ball fields, and it'll be interesting if anyone can attend. 6:30 on May 17th. And finally, from just to let you know, the recount that has gotten a little bit of attention here in town is scheduled right here tomorrow. The public is invited to the capacity of the room. but the observers, and there are restrictions, but the recount on the school committee race will take place tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Selectmen's comments. Comments and opinions expressed by individual members do not necessarily reflect the view of the entire Board of Selectmen and are the opinions and comments of only the individual member. Mr. Mullen.
Yeah, two quick things. I just want to thank everyone who came out on Saturday for the Rockland cleanup day, like the Open Space Committee, Home Depot, the Lions Club, Stop and Shop, like so many groups, whether it be the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the high school lacrosse team, really, like in residence, we had just about 200 people. We went through the permission slips over the weekend, and I counted about 200 people came out to help and to participate, and we had crews like on the rail trail, like up here, like on Union Street, down on Beach Hill, in the town forest. So it was a really, really great day. One of the really neat things we were able to do this year, through the help of the Lions and Stop and Shop and other folks, was to add a community, a cookout, a component, like right actually in front of Town Hall at the end, and that went over very well, and it was just a nice chance to just come together and talk with our neighbors and friends afterwards. So thank everyone who came out for that. Like we're looking forward to, like as part of the Reimagine Rockland effort, also also examine the possibility of having other cleanups throughout the year, maybe one in the fall as well. So there'll be more information about that. And just following up on what Chief Henderson had mentioned about the town meeting next Monday night. Town meeting is how we really set the stage. Like in terms of the operating budget, in terms of actually this year, a lot of the issues we've been talking about here in downtown relating to buildings, infrastructure, and a whole host of other things. And that's the night where we come together to chart a course forward on all those issues. And we do need 150 people to be able to do that. So it is critical, if you do have any time on a Monday night, if you could come out learn more about what we're trying to do and really take part in like in all of our government here, that would be great and very much appreciated. So Monday night, 7 o'clock in the high school auditorium. We look forward to seeing you there. So that's all I have.
Mr. Ryan.
Going out of order.
Gonna go across.
Oh, it's okay.
Changing it up
I'm
tonight.
only kidding.
Changing it up.
I just want to say thanks to all the people that came out for the cleanup on Saturday. I just want you to know that me and Donald Kahn and my friend Linda Kirby, we took on the toughest area and get into the thorns and the bushes and got ourselves chopped up in little pieces. But it was well worth the effort, quite frankly. And it was good to see all the people out in the cookout. Perfect, Everybody had a good time. I think that it was a nice day. The weather was great. Everything was, you couldn't ask for a better outing, if you want to say that, I guess. But it's too bad we have to do it. And we're still working on the NIP thing, and we hope that the government doesn't go nuts and repeal the bottle bill, because quite frankly, it'll just double our rubbish. I don't see how they think it's going to work, but without it. But gives an awful lot of people something to do too, picking up bottles and cans. And I know a guy that pays for a lot of his medical bills and things with just doing that. So keep up the good work on that. That's all I got.
Thank you. Mr. O'Loughlin.
I'll just reiterate what both Mike and Larry said about the cleanup on Saturday. Reimagine Rockland and the Open Space Committee, I think there were, 150 people? At least when I was there at 9 o'clock in the morning. The place behind Town Hall was packed, and everybody came ready to work. So To Larry's point, it's unfortunate we have to do something like that, but it was great to see people willing to come out and clean up the town. I got a call earlier from a resident who was supposed to be here to present tonight, but she couldn't make it. She wanted me to remind everybody that the Ben Kimball toll booth for special education is this Saturday, May 5th. It's supposed to be on Hingham Street and North Ave, but because of a lack of volunteers, they can only be in one place, still to be determined. If anyone's looking to volunteer, send an email to Rockland CPAC, SEPAC 2012 at gmail.com. You know, there's a lot of special ed students in this town, and unfortunately there aren't a lot of volunteers helping out that pack. So it's a great cause. If anybody can get out there and help out, that'd be great. It's this Saturday, and just send an email to that account. And lastly, I just want to offer my condolences to the family of John Stappen. John was a former classmate of mine. He passed away last night after a long battle, and with what's been affecting our community and so many communities lately. So just another loss, somebody too young. Thank you.
I just have a couple of things. Mr. Ryan mentioned the bottle bill. I think I mentioned it at the last meeting, so I just wanted to mention just a few things. It's Senate Bill 1865, House Bill 1744. The name of the bill is an act improving recycling in the Commonwealth, but what it actually does is repeal the bottle deposit law and puts in its place a 1-cent fee or tax on all carbonated and non-carbonated beverages. The collected revenues then get put into a, quote, municipal recycling enhancement fund, end quote, with the fund to be used for recycling and litter programs. But the fee sunsets after 3 years. Communities would then have to apply competitively for that money to fund their recycling program. As part of the, I'm part of the MMA Environment Energy Subcommittee, and we got a presentation on this, a very lengthy presentation on this. And it has a lot of externalized costs on municipalities as a result. A lot, as we've seen with the NIP problem, right, Larry? That will then become a full bottle problem. And it's been said that the bottle deposit bill is the strongest recycling bill that we have. So I would like to hopefully put this out to everybody so you guys have a chance to read it, and then maybe put it on the agenda for a next meeting to maybe put together something for whether we vote in support of or against legislation, okay?
Do it now?
I'm
Is that what you said?
You can do it now.
I kind of want them to read it first.
Are they
Oh, you
for or
might.
Do you
against
want
the
to-
bottle bill?
Well,
Well, we're in support of the bottle bill.
Yeah, I'm for the
I'm for the bottle bill.
You're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the
all
choir.
right, do I have a motion?
So you have a motion.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor?
That's a vote to oppose
Oppose the bottle bill.
Right.
Yes.
So
Oppose the repeal of the
The
bottle.
repeal. Oppose the repeal.
Thank you.
I will send a letter to our delegation.
And make sure Ed knows.
All right. I also just want to reiterate some of what was said in regards to town meeting. It's the legislative function of our government. It's where we decide how we're going to spend our money, and everybody has an opportunity to participate. I really want to emphasize that people should try to get out and participate and be able to have a say in how the town decides to move forward with the programs and policies that are on the agenda. So I would just really hope that people can make time to get to the meeting. It's been relatively short. We don't go for multiple days like a lot of other communities, and I think it's definitely worth it for you to come out and be part of that process. And also about the committees and volunteers. So we rely a lot on our volunteers here in town, and our government's only as good as the volunteers that come out to serve us, okay? So I'd really like to encourage people to get involved. I'm sure we can find something that fits your timetable. Some committees are more heavy lifting than others, but if you're interested in getting involved with the community, I'm sure we can find something that suits your needs. So I just would encourage people to also come out and think about joining one of our committees that we talked about earlier tonight. And that's all I have.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Beautiful.